Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Practical Chrome 49. Practical Chrome, the show dedicated to everything Chrome across all the platforms. You got Chrome, we're going to talk about it. Whether that be on a cell phone, as we just heard there, or on a MacBook, or on a Linux machine, which I'm running right now, or on a Windows machine, if you're a sadist. You know, whatever you got running Chrome, that's where we're going to be at. We're going to be talking about Chrome on this episode of Practical Chrome. And welcome aboard. Today is, of course, December 18th. The episode's labeled Happy Holidays, but, really just because it's the holidays, to be honest. I mean, can't really get any more specific than that.
Easy.
I know it was easy, to be honest. It was a slam dunk of a the show. How are you doing, gentlemen? Of course, joining me every week is Craig Tobleson and James Welbus, the two tractor wheels on my trike. Welcome, gentlemen. Craig, how are you doing this week?
I am doing okay. How are you doing, John? Because that analogy makes me a little bit concerned for your mental health.
It wouldn't be so bad because if it's a trike and it's a small trike and the axles you've raised up to meet the middle of the wagon wheel, it would actually be pretty interesting looking.
All right, I know you're trying to sound like you thought of that before you said it, but it's pretty easy to tell that you're trying to justify what you said earlier, and you're making it up as you go, which is kind of the theme for the show. I get that. It's why I tune in.
Yeah,
you don't have to try this hard, John. The listeners are already here, and if they've stuck with us this long.
You make a good point there. You did make a good point. James, you're sticking around. How are you doing?
Doing all right.
Just all right? Come on, man. Come. It's Christmas time. It's all the times. It's cold outside. There is music playing on the radio stations that they only play but 2 months out of the year.
So far, you've listed the two things I hate most about this time of year.
Me and the wife and kids are going to go looking at lights here pretty soon. Jump in the car and just drive around for hours.
3.
All right. Well, all that being said about our happy holidays, our Grinch is in house, and also Craig and I are ready to go. So let's dig into it. We do have a bunch of news stories this week, as we usually do on Practical Chrome, where we talk about all things Chrome. We're going to talk about some Chrome stories in the news. Gentlemen, I had nothing to do with putting this list together because I'm a slacker. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Start off at the very top and work my way down. Rugged Acer C740 Chromebook with Broadwell CPU coming in March. Craig, go. What's it about?
Well, it's interesting that you detailed your list concept, going from top to bottom. Number one, that's really innovative. But number two, it reminded me, with all this talk of the holidays, are you drawing inspiration here from Santa Claus and his list? Because this list lacks cheer and jolly, and really, it's black and white. There's some blue in there for links. It's really boring. And I just wondered if you wanted us to go through and decorate the show notes with some holiday cheer.
Well,
or if you're okay with
that
it
would
being
make James
boring.
upset. That would make James upset. I
know. That's why I proposed it.
Put it in sepia tone, so that way it gets more of like a Santa Claus is reading it, because he uses papyrus. He doesn't use paper, so it's very brown-like. And then I do need some naughty in there. I don't see anything naughty. Is there anything naughty? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, scroll all the way down. It's
oh
there.
Dear, I like that though. Ooh, this one's for the cops. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going then. So, Craig, what's up with the rugged Chromebook?
Well, Joey over at OMG Chrome, and we love OMG Chrome. They've got a snowman in their logo. Joey talked to a secret source I believe he's calling them the Chrome Bandit, which is an interesting name. We'll see if it sticks. And the Chrome Bandit has been cheerful enough to spread some joy this year with some leaked news. Apparently, Acer will be launching a rugged, so a tough-built tank-looking thing in the form of a Chromebook called the C740. It'll have a Broadwell chip. We have virtually no details apart from these simple things. Actually, we do have a lot of details. I did not scroll all the way down. I am taking a note from John this week.
I was gonna say, Craig, I'm reading the article too, and I now know more than you do.
That's exactly what happened. You were reading at a faster pace than I was because I was talking at the same time.
Also, is the Chrome Bandit like your 4th AKA or like your 7th? Which one is that?
Now, you know I can't reveal sources, whether they're myself or not.
Okay.
All
right.
So spec-wise, it'll have a 16 and 32 gigabyte storage options, 2 and 4 gigabyte RAM options, 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, AC, that's great. Bluetooth 4.0 low energy, USB 3.0 slot, SD card reader slot, HDMI out, and the battery life is estimated at about 8.5 hours according to the promotional material. And Acer also throws out a starting price of $259 and $289 for the 2 gigabyte and 4 gigabyte respectively. Release date is penciled in for March 2015. So it's an interesting development. This is usually about the time of year stuff starts to leak. We've got CES coming up, which is that giant trade show that Kevin Toffel goes and he hunts down Chrome devices. We love you, Kevin. Last year he got full coverage of the Chrome base. That was brilliant. And he had to hunt for that. I think it was hidden way off in a corner in LG's area. They tend to do that with Chrome devices. We're always stuck in the corner.
And LG.
Well, LG should be stuck in the corner. But that's a discussion for a different time. But
that's our other podcast.
Yes, that is the other podcast. It is on directly following this one, and it features James sitting by himself yelling profanities at LG.
That's right.
Not LG products, just a piece of paper with LG written on it.
It's a hoot.
There's a lot of grunting too.
You guys watched? Oh, that means so much to me. I didn't think anybody watched.
Well, I can say this about this article. This Chrome Bandit, he's got some good eyes on him because one of the things that we've always talked about with the Acer C720 is the fact that put too much pressure on the outside top, you're going to get some marring from the keys hitting the screen, things like that. So it's good to see that it looks like the C720 is just basically going to get a little beefier, which is nice. So, and the Broadwell chip, you can't win them all. So, what can you do?
I think that price is a little optimistic, or at least his guess that there's going to be an i3 processor in it, given that price, seems a little optimistic. Acer's i3 Chromebook right now is like $350 or something. I would be pretty excited over a $289 i3 Chromebook.
Did it say? I thought it was only the Broadwells. They didn't say the i3, did they?
He said he's guessing. I skimmed.
Or Core i3. I see. Either the Broadwell U Celeron or the Core i3. Interesting. Well, there's that. But it's good that they're more rugged. I think it's really the big thing.
I think it looks cool if that picture is accurate. I like the color.
I know. I like that. It's got chocolate color. It's nice. I like that.
If chocolate was gray.
No, it's chocolate.
It's definitely chocolate colored. And if you need more chocolate, luckily Acer will be unveiling a 15.6 inch Chromebook as well, coming up in 2015.
Oh, look at you.
Now, see, John, that is a transition, John.
That's a segue transition thing. That was good.
That was brilliant.
That was really good. That is the next article, Craig. You are a sneaky Pete.
It is. It is the next article, John. So this 15.6-inch monster of a Chromebook, we've never seen one that big. I think at that size, I think once you get to that size, you technically have to register as a dually or a large truck. I don't think you can use the like 5-ton bridges anymore.
No.
There are a lot of limitations here.
No.
Now the good news is it's going to be called the C910, which is not confusing at all. Chromebook, and it should have at least one variant, so we're looking at 2 different models minimum. It, like John said, similar to the other one, this will have a Broadwell processor, we believe. And the biggest difference between the 2 different variants that could possibly be revealed is one of them will be a full HD model with a 1920 by 1080p resolution, which on that big of a display would be nice compared to the 1366 by 768. Because you take 1366 by 768 and blow it up to 15.6 inches, it's going to look a little grainy. Just a little.
That's a good point.
And by little, I mean this is about how big the pixels each look.
Like Lego size, like you're looking at a Minecraft screen of
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar.
All right then. Well, cool. That hey, 15 inches. Whatevs. I don't know. I really like the. I had the 14 for a hot minute, but I like the smaller 13-inch. I think I like that because especially like on your lap or and I am about the weight. Almost a year ago we talked about weight, and I was the one that was like weight's an issue, and everybody's like no, just like that, and then lo and behold, all right. So I think it's a weight thing for me. I like the smaller size. So I'm saying no to the dually. That's what I'm saying. But to each his own. James, what are your thoughts on another big? Because you've wrestled with the 14. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, first of all, when I was talking about the sweet metallic gray color, I was still talking about the other Acer we were talking about. Now I see why you're calling the Acer brown, because this one is the color of poop. It's also humongous, and I thought the 14-inch HP was too big. This is an 1.5 inches bigger. But honestly, the size wasn't the biggest thing. It was the weight that I hated about the HP 14. So if Acer found a way to, give us a huge screen, but maybe not make it weigh like 100 pounds or whatever the HP weighs, I got nothing against a big screen. It's just all that weight. I much prefer the Acer C720P, which weighs almost exactly the same as the Acer C720. But personally, I'd rather have the C740 if I was going to choose between this one and the last one, just for the same reason. It's smaller. It's not the color of poop. And, that's basically it. They both have the Broadwells, which I'm excited to see what those are like.
So I'm gonna. Okay, so I totally read the wrong articles in the wrong order. That's why I said the other one was brown. Yeah, see, that's my fault. But now that I look at the image, I'm gonna call bullshit.
Hey, it's the color of poop.
No, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the silver one, and
out with it.
It's not that rugged. It's not. It's no more. Wait, what? So what are we?
Silver. The image Joey shows for the silver one, I don't think is a press render.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Well, that's why I was calling bull stuff.
It's brushed iron metal, John. It doesn't get any more rugged than brushed iron metal.
Yeah, I think that's just a mock-up. I don't think that's a press render. A press render wouldn't have that background.
And the hinges are different colors because they're made out of adamantium.
Oh, adamantium. Well, now we're talking. Because if only Wolverine can cut through it, then that's a tough book there.
Well, if only Wolverine can cut through it, maybe it can survive a couple hours in a classroom.
That's what I'm saying. Good
I
point.
mean, no promises.
No problem.
Kids are way more destructive than Wolverine.
Speaking of kids, Chromecast gets guest mode.
Nice try.
This has no relation to kids whatsoever.
Big 1, John 0.
What my point is... No,
I mean,
don't really have one.
okay, I kind of get it, because kids are small and the Chromecast is small. So I
Right.
understand the dots that you connected.
No. I was going with kids on my Chromebook use guest mode. So...
Go on.
James, is it heads or tails?
It's a wedding ring. Sometimes I forget you can hear what I'm doing.
Can we start over? No. All right. So yes, my segue was terrible, but Chromecast gets guest mode for devices that are not on the same Wi-Fi network. What's it all mean, James?
I am not glad you asked, John.
You have literally like 4 seconds to parse the article, to grok it in your brain, and then regurgitate like a mama bird.
James Welbus, meet under the bus. So, Chromecast, guest mode. Sounds cool.
Okay, so,
Yes.
since no one else
I knew
understood...
he'd jump in eventually if I just kept quiet.
Well, you can only watch the helpless puppy drowning for so long before you feel an ethical obligation to step in. So that's where I'm at. So back at I/O,
I know.
Google
I know what this is
unveiled
about. I
this
read it. I
ama-
grokked it. I'm good. No, Craig, go ahead.
Google unveiled this amazing idea of being able to share access to your Chromecast without needing to give away your Wi-Fi password. And the phones would do this by listening to what's going on around and using a couple other factors. And if the sounds match and the other couple other factors match, you would have temporary access to that Chromecast. So it's a way to share your Chromecast with strangers that may walk through your door without needing to give them your Wi-Fi password. Because as we all know, your Wi-Fi password is part of you. And just because you're going to let someone into your home and trust them to be in your home doesn't mean that you trust them with your Wi-Fi password.
Actually, my Wi-Fi password is part of you 123 with a capital P. But you're close.
I do my investigative journalism. Nothing I say is by accident.
I just thought that there was a TV show called Strangers with My Chromecast.
No, Strangers with Candy.
Oh wow, Craig, were you even born when that show came out?
Maybe. I don't know when it came out, but I've watched it. And Stephen Colbert's last show is tonight. Oh,
That's
Oh.
sad.
we should do like a 10-minute segment with just Eagles.
we should. That's a good point. Okay. So yeah, that's the dog ear splitting noise thing. That's what that is. So it's finally coming out. Awesome. Right?
That wasn't it. It wasn't a joke. They're actually doing it.
Right. I might need to get a drink of water. But that is okay. So here's what's cool about that. You have a party, and people say, "Hey, I want to show you something on your TV. I want to show you my G Plus photos, or I want to show you blah blah blah." You don't have to be like, "Oh, well, my password is this passphrase, 7K4P9 11 12 17, and then they're trying to type it on there, right? Which is terrible. So it's kind of cool that they can just be like, you just pair it because you're in guest mode, and the things magically happen because of inaudible noises made by the Chromecast and received by the phone. It's actually pretty genius. Because if they tried strobing lights on the TV, it's not a good idea. So maybe they could have done a QR code though. That would have been kind of cool. But then you'd catch that through a window, and then like anybody on the street passing by. Although if it's summer and you have your windows open, then the other people can hear the noise too.
Well, I think the biggest concern here is pet parrots.
Clearly,
Go
Google
on.
does not care about parrots.
Go on.
Well, think about it. If it uses the sound to authenticate, and you've got a pet parrot that repeats everything you say, we may be in trouble here.
Oh dear. What if a nation state comes up with enough parrots to take over enough Chromecasts to display something on TV that they want us all to see, like, old episodes of Gilligan's Island, and just torture us with it.
Oh, that'd be devastating. Let's hope Times Square doesn't install Chromecasts to power their giant screens.
This is what I'm saying.
Your terrible joke actually brings up a good point. Is there a way to turn off this feature so that other people can't jump on your Chromecast?
Oh yeah, it's completely opt-in. You have to activate it.
Yeah, it's if you actually crack open the article, there's a
There's an article?
I believe that if you that looks like they're on the Chromecast app that can configure the Chromecast. Then you can just say, "Okay, got it," to share your TV with guest mode. Mm-hmm.
How about that keyboard?
How about that keyboard? Let's talk keyboards, gentlemen. Are we talking keyboards now?
I thought we were talking about Hangouts first.
Are we talking about Hangouts first? Which key? What happened?
Not according to my... Okay, you're right. Did you just sneak that in there?
No, that's been in there.
No.
Craig's always sneaking things. He likes to slip things in. The Hangouts for Chrome adds Google Voice integration, chat notifications, and statuses. What's the status?
Statuses. I
Oh.
can't spell, but you can't blame me because Google didn't touch it either.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, actually. Anyway, so did you really move them around? Come on, which one are we doing?
We're doing Hangouts.
Just pick
This
one.
is first.
You're the host.
I'm picking Hangouts.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Whoa, things are moving too much.
Oh, goodness.
There's no... Listen,
What wormhole did we fall down?
I don't know where we fell.
Alright, so
We're
Hangouts.
falling fast, though.
There was an update recently to the Hangouts app for Chrome that adds additional Google Voice integration in the form of being able to call people easier, chat notifications, so now when you have the Hangouts app minimized, you will get notifications through the typical notification tray, and this is the biggest thing to happen since 1990, statuses. So now you can set your Hangouts status and move from device to device, and it stays put. So, I mean, this brings us full circle. We are now back at MSN, AIM, Chat, or whatever, Yim, whatever theirs was. Yahoo Instant Messenger. We are full circle now.
Now, wait a minute. They did this with... They did this before. I just don't think it catches on.
Well, they did it before using emoji, so you could only select from like 6 or 7 emoji. Now you can actually set your status with text. You know, that rich media format that we invented a couple thousand years ago. That I don't know if that'll catch on, you're right, but I'd hope so. I find it useful.
You do? In what context?
Text? Oh, well, you can do so much with it. You can read books, you can write books.
No. In what context do you find statuses? Do you really think someone's going to be like, oh, Craig says he's at the grocery store. I shouldn't text him now. I will wait.
Actually, my status at the moment is an emoji pumpkin. It says, is it Halloween yet? Oh, boy.
So it's good for bad jokes, too.
Almost exclusively bad jokes, if I remember the MSN era correctly.
Where do I see the status? Because I don't see your status.
That's a good point. Where do
I
you
don't think they've enabled the ability to see them yet.
status eye. Where
I'm
the
out.
status eye?
But you can set them now.
So
We
you
can't
is-
see them.
Revolutionary.
so it's like Ron Popeil. You can set it and forget that you set yourself up as some kind of pumpkin lazy thing, and then you forget that you set it on there. Then 4 years later, someone's like, "Why are you a pumpkin?" And you're like, "What are you talking about?" But really, it was.
Well, the way I figure it, Halloween comes every year. So I'm going to be right at least one day a year. So I don't need to worry about keeping it up to date.
Right. Okay. So statuses are cool. Statuses are cool. Wait a minute. So the Hangouts was there, and next was finally Chrome's gotten Games app to get updated. I saw it before you highlighted it. I will have you know. Fine. Who's red? Oh, all right. There's not a tent big enough to throw over this circus, gentlemen. Finally, Chrome's Forgotten Games app to get update. and you know, sorry about my throat. I've had a cold for a couple weeks, so it's been a little rough. So games are back, which, as you well know, people were quite upset about. James, would you like to comment?
People are upset about games coming back. What? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, see, every new Chromebook comes loaded with a set of default applications, including handy links to some online Google services like Docs, YouTube,
You don't say.
Web Store, and the game section. I'm basically plagiarizing, is what I'm doing.
Be sure to tune in next week to hear John read the news at you.
I'm reading the news at your face. So that's what Joey says in an article. Of course, we're reading from OMG Chrome. And excuse me, I'm having a terrible time with my throat. But if you guys do remember, when you cracked it open the first time, James, is it heads or tails? Are you still doing that? There's a games button, and when you would click it, which I still have a games button, apparently the category of games comes up now, right when you click it, and apparently it went away. It's to get an update. I'm sorry, it's to get an update. So it's not going to. It's basically, yes, that's what's happening. Things morphing. Things are happening. It's getting an update. Craig, do you have anything to add?
Mostly criticism. So, to correct whatever John was trying to say, there's a default app. It's a bookmark app, so you click it, it opens a link for the Chrome Store's Games section. And over the years, as other apps have had their icon updated to match the material design spec, this one has kind of been forgotten about. So in the future, this app will receive an update with the new Google Play Games material design icon, so it won't be so ugly. That's essentially all that's happening here. There's no new functionality. Sorry, what was that?
But it will be more confusing.
It shouldn't be. Well, yeah, if it's the Google Play icon. Yeah.
Indeed.
That will be more confusing.
Good point, James.
Maybe this is a sign that they're finally integrating.
I think you're reaching.
Convergence?
Google Play Chrome Store?
Play Store? Okay. So basically that was about an icon. and I'm totally lost. I derailed that, and I apologize. So Dell launches a $20 Chrome keyboard in the U.S., and the masses rejoice. I know that I've seen a number of photos myself of this new keyboard in action, and it's sexy. I'll give you that. Craig, I'm going to give you. Wait, no, Craig. James, because I've thrown it to you so many times, and like a man sinking in quicksand, you're trying to catch that rope, but I think you're going to catch it this time.
What can I ramble about this time?
What's this all about with this $20 Chrome keyboard from Dell?
Well, to my knowledge, it's the first Chrome OS keyboard that's ever been released by itself. Is that right? I haven't seen one. I've seen them in bundles. HP has a bundle. Asus has a bundle. I think Samsung probably came to the keyboard. I don't even know. But I think this is the first time that you've been able to just buy a Chrome OS keyboard by itself, which is cool. A lot of people have just been using, obviously some random Windows or Apple keyboard with their Chromebox, because let's be honest, the keyboard that comes with the Asus Chromebox is terrible. All right, TRBL terrible. So I, for one, am excited to be able to replace this crappy keyboard with a keyboard that has a Chrome OS layout. I don't know what it's like yet because mine is sitting at the post office right across the street from where I work, and I'm not allowed to go pick it up. I have to wait for them to deliver it tomorrow. But it can't be worse than the one I have right now. The two reasons I bought it: one, I play a video game that requires the use of the arrow keys, and you can see maybe my arrow keys are really tiny and really close together, and makes it hard to maneuver my little character thingamajigger around the screen. So that's annoying. The Dell one has a nice, bigger arrow keys. It's a tiny thing, but for me it's kind of a big deal. Plus, this keyboard has a number pad, which is cool, and it's still, from what I hear, it's not huge. It's not taking up half your desk. It's pretty minimalist, but it has a number pad, so that's cool. I'm using an external number pad that Mason was kind enough to mail me, and which is great. But it'd be nice to have the whole thing in one piece.
Craig, you had something to say?
I think he's trying to show us his keys.
I'm going to break James's heart. The arrow keys are not all that big.
Well, no, but at least the up and down aren't half the size of the other ones, and right in between them, they're like basically one button cut in half, which is really annoying.
Oh, this is similar.
Yeah, like on the C720, if you can see that. C720.
Oh yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, I've got one of those. This is similar, but there is a little bit more space between them.
What's important is that the up key is actually above the other keys, because when you're used to playing and navigating around with those, when you want to move up, your middle finger is used to having to go to something slightly higher than the two keys that your other fingers are on. But with my keyboard, they're all in horizontal, and it's really annoying. And I use A, S, D, and W to play the game right now, which makes chatting during the game annoying.
Yeah, but that's what real gamers do. Because your mouse hand has to be free for the viewing. You know what I'm saying?
Not sure what that was, John, but we'll just go with it. I agree.
Anyway, all right. So there's that. Which, if
he actually has it.
I know he does, and so I think you should talk about it. But I wanted to give my 2 cents. This is what I wanted, and I
You
thought
sounded like you were going for a terrible segue, so I wanted to make sure that we weren't leaving the keyboard.
I wasn't gonna leave it. I was gonna make an opinionated. I'm opinionated.
Please continue.
This is what I am. I'm getting comfortable, so I can say my piece. So my question about this is, I don't have a question. I think I don't have a question. I'm
Craig, thoughts?
I'm. All right, yeah, Craig, go ahead. You go first. Tell us the real thing, and then I'll go into my diatribe of what I don't know.
Well, I am not an expert keyboard reviewer, and I know people get really touchy about their keyboards.
Get it? Touchy? Because you touch it with all your fingers?
That was awesome.
Read the room, man.
I thought you were actually making that joke, and then I realized, nope. My bad.
Sure.
Is it clappy or is it soft touch? Is it a Dvorak? Is that what's special?
No. Goodness, no. It's loud. It's clickety-clackety. The keys have good spacing between them. The printed letter case is lowercase, which is nice, because capital letters are just a little bit too in my face for me. It has the dedicated Chrome OS keys, which is preferable to a bunch of keys that say F1 and F2, and that's just discouraging. Yeah, it's a keyboard, John. It's a $20 keyboard that only costs $20. I don't know what you want me to say about it. It's nice. I will use it.
Are you happy with your purchase? Was it worth $20?
Well, I didn't pay $20. I paid like
Was it worth
$19.78.
You paid $19.78. It's
Yeah.
those 2 cents that really make a difference.
Oh, well, I got a 10% discount, and then they charged me like 9% in tax. So, because that's how that works. Yeah, I like it. I've been looking to get rid of my Windows one because it's gigantic, and it's actually Microsoft branded, and it's just gigantic because Microsoft's slogan is "Go big or go home." So,
Is that their slogan?
probably. Anyway, so it's nice. I like that I have more desk space for activities. It's all right. I do not regret my purchase at this moment in time. Is that the stunning review you were seeking?
Yes.
Thank you, James. Thank you,
yes,
James.
That was actually very good, Craig. I appreciate you letting us know what it's all about.
You're welcome.
So, no, are you using a Chromebook or Chromebox?
Yes. I have 3 Chromebooks and a Chromebox and a Windows PC, and I use this keyboard with my Chromebox and my Windows PC. I just switch between them.
Interesting. All right. There you go. Thank you, Craig. Well done, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could have been at your assistance.
Yes. So, speaking of being at your assistance,
Oh boy.
what happens when you take someone's Chromecast and they know you have it?
Things happen.
So get this. You steal someone's Chromecast. Let's say you're in an apartment and you steal someone's Chromecast.
Okay.
And it turns out that your neighbor is the one that stole it. Well, that's apparently what happened because basically in a dorm room situation, someone stole someone else's Chromecast, and they ended up tricking the person by showing them an image on their screen because they hijacked their Chromecast and were able to get it to read, "You're gonna die now because you stole my Chromecast." No, they didn't do that. They actually put just a plain white warning, and then it says, "Warning: the device is stolen, has been tracked. You should return it immediately, or the police will be contacted." Which I think is kind of brilliant because it's like it makes you think more things are known about what's going on. Like apparently the person got really get freaked out. Apparently, a quote from the article: "The idiot is outside apologizing, saying he's only borrowed it." So
He
I
really is
think
an idiot.
yeah. So
If you're going to steal someone's Chromecast, don't go and use it on the same Wi-Fi network of the person you stole it from. Come on.
Or, change the name of it.
I was going to say that's the real
Right.
kicker there. What I find funny is that Joey points out the fact that with them being like 18, $25, really? That's what you're gonna like? You're gonna go and steal? Like, I think that you could have waited till Christmas and been like, Mom, Dad, I want a $25 Chromecast, and been,
It's a lot harder to steal a smart TV, though.
this is a good point.
Is it?
Well, I would like to
Really?
counter that point.
Have you stolen smart TVs before? Is it easier than I thought?
Well, I don't have prior work experience.
They're slim now, so they're easy to get around.
Right. They are slim. I saw this commercial once where someone took a TV right out of the store and they walked right out the front door, but they just faced all the security cameras and held the TV, to their side, and it was so thin that the cameras didn't see it. And I realized it was commercial. But it's kind of one of those rules that I live by now, where if I was ever going to steal a TV, that would be my strategy.
Oh, boy.
I steal all my stuff using Harry Potter's invisible blanket. And my arms are just always out here like this when I'm walking through a store, and it's because I'm holding stuff that I'm stealing. Yeah, that's terrible.
You could have at least gone Lord of the Rings with that. If you're gonna go nerdy, don't go Harry Potter nerdy.
The whole thing about the so thin that he turned it towards the camera is funny though. That's a pretty good advertisement. Yeah. So he was busted. Have you guys, either of you, seen the Chrome Web Store and seen how it's now sleeker?
I have.
More
Seen it.
sleekly. It's more sleekly. It's got drop downs instead of like a huge list of like all your categories.
Still waiting for a Chrome OS category.
I thought you found one.
No, I totally photoshopped that, bro.
Oh, snap. Craig, he got me.
Congrats, James. I'll be sending you your first certificate
Yes.
to award you for this occasion.
He wins it was like a Photoshop award.
I'm a rising star in the Troll John Elephant forum now. There's a forum.
I just got rickrolled by an image. So, anyway, you're right. The Chrome OS isn't there, except for in your awesome little image that you totally just blew me away with. But basically, what we're talking about right now is that they've streamlined the menu bar so it's less 2001 and more 2014, where things are just a little tighter. It's easier to navigate, things like that. Take a look at it, Chrome Web Store. Any thoughts on it, Craig? What about you?
I really don't visit the Chrome Web Store that often anymore.
I know. I agree.
Why are we whispering?
Don't tell anybody.
That
was
was
weird.
weird.
I because I don't go to the Chrome Web Store very often. Anyway, so that's nice. Craig, what do we need to know before buying a Chromebook?
Well,
5 minutes or less.
Well, the very first thing you need to realize is reading comprehension is important. This article is actually about buying a Chromebox.
Ha!
Oh. Well, Craig, what do we need to know before buying a Chromebox?
Way different.
Well,
I'm in a lot of pain right now.
we are too, John. Well, that's a good question, John. I think if a reader is interested in purchasing a Chromebox, they should head over to OMG Chrome and read the article Joey wrote, instead of just having us read it to them. Some high points of the article include, I'm thinking of buying a Chromebox, what should I know? All the way down to...
Well, it's a long article.
It is.
Something about the TARDIS.
Yeah, Joey does this. He starts out strong. He works. He finds a way to work Doctor Who into it, and he still manages to bring it back home. I swear, like 8 out of 10 articles on this site involve Doctor Who, whether you notice it or not. And the best ones are the ones that you can't figure out how they involve Doctor Who. They're there.
I would just like to say, after perusing this article for less than 30 seconds, I am mightily impressed with the quality of the article and the graphics and the knowledge that he puts to the end user, which would be, he does a really good job. That's really the DisplayPort image is really great. He just does a really great job with that. That's actually a really great article to give to somebody who wants to know. It's got octane scores, understanding of your CPU. No CD-ROM drive. Like, he goes over everything. That's really good. Well done.
Yeah.
Jolly good show. Good. Well done. So yes, if like literally what Craig said, Joey goes over the finer points. It'll take you less than 4 to 5 minutes to read the article. You literally will know everything you need to know about buying a Chromebox or book. If you kind of read between the lines a little bit. That being said, do that if you think about buying a Chromebox. Which, by the way, so James, you've got your Chromebox, right? I know that Craig, you have one as well. But James, I think you're a little bit newer to it, to the experience.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on your Chromebox experience as a whole?
Well, my thoughts are it's amazing. Not really because it's a Chromebox so much as because it has an i3 processor and 4 gigs of RAM. I'm sure the Acer Chromebook with the i3 processor and 4 gigs of RAM will be just as awesome. But you know, the Chromebox is nice because it gives you a desktop experience without taking up, you know, your whole desk with the laptop. The Chromebox is very tiny. You can hook up a nice monitor to it, which you could do to a Chromebook as well, but again, you're taking up half your desk with it. So the Chromebox is nice because it gives me the desktop experience. Besides that, it's exactly the same as a Chromebook, of course. The Asus, I'm sure the other ones are probably the same, but the Asus has the what are they called? ASA mounts or something? ASA mounts. It mounts to the back of my monitor, which is cool. So apart from it being small, it's also hidden and completely out of the way. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if the HP does that or if the Acer, or no. Yeah, Acer's making a Chromebox, right?
I think they all make Chromeboxes.
I think, yeah. I don't know if any of the other ones do, but that's something to keep in mind. The Asus will attach to the back of your monitor. I would say if you're thinking about buying a Chromebox, I think people are probably okay with a laptop maybe not having the best performance as compared to a desktop. I think maybe some people are just kind of used to that. You're sacrificing performance maybe a little bit for portability. So I would say if you're going for a Chromebox, I would recommend future-proofing yourself a little bit. Go with probably an i3 processor. Go with 4 gigs of RAM, just so you don't experience the lag that you sometimes can experience with the lesser Chromebooks. I just think it really makes a big difference. I have a Haswell 2 gigabyte Chromebook, the Acer C720, and for $200, it's an amazing little machine, but it does lag a little bit. And so it's refreshing to come upstairs and hop on the Chromebox and not have to experience that lag. You can have 40 tabs open, and it's not any different than having one tab open. So I think that's pretty cool. The Asus keyboard is terrible. Apart from the fact that I just don't like it, there are actually reports enough that I think that it's worth mentioning of the keyboard just flat out not working. It's on the Amazon reviews. I've seen it on the Chromebook forum, so be careful. Apparently, some people have fixed it by just taking their batteries out and putting it back in. I don't know, but that's something to keep in mind.
So basically, reboot your keyboard. Okay.
Right. Exactly. So I would say that one thing to keep in mind is the ports. If you're looking for a dual monitor experience, make sure that you know what ports you're dealing with. On my Chromebox, there's a HDMI port and a display port, which I was kind of disappointed to see because I have an HDMI cable and a VGA cable, so now I have to go buy an adapter. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you know what ports you're getting yourself into.
Word. Craig, are you still rocking an older model, or did you get your did you bump up? I can't remember if you bumped. I thought you might have sold your old one and got a bump up.
Nope, I still have a Samsung Series 3 Chromebox.
Right. How's she chugging along?
Um, I haven't noticed, so I'm assuming good. And that's kind of the beauty of the Chromebox, like James was saying. It's kind of just you put it there and then you don't look at it. And then you just look at the screen and it works. And to me that's beautiful. That is a beautiful thing, John. When I can just stare at my screen and not at the big chunk of hardware sitting off to the side.
Just like an iMac.
Yeah, just like an iMac, except
Exactly like it.
well, the Chrome base is exactly like it. This is a little different because mine doesn't have VESA mounts. I don't think.
Oh man.
I've never turned
How's
it over.
What's your power button like? Because I have to tell you, I absolutely freaking hate the Asus Chromebox power button.
Oh yeah, it's on the corner, isn't it?
It doesn't matter where it is for me. It's the fact that it's like a soft depress button. There's no click, no satisfying click when you push it. And it's not just like a touch button where you just like touch your finger on it, it turns it on. You actually do have to press it in. But there's no click. You just like press the button and you're like, and since it's behind your monitor, you can't see it. So you're like, am I pushing hard enough? Is it coming on yet? I don't know. I'll just wait and find out. Granted, it was only an 8-second wait. But it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, mine is similar. It's a soft press, but it's on the front, and mine sits on my desk, so it's easy to get to. It's raised though, so you can feel it, and it doesn't press very far. But there's no click, no satisfying click.
I need that click.
Well,
That feel.
So apparently James is all about that click.
All about that click.
About that click. Not that click.
That should have been the title of our show.
Falling into chaos.
I know we are. We fell into chaos about an hour ago. Avaya, listen. So when it comes to remote desktop, this is actually pretty significant, and people should, I think, keep this. It's not like 3D televisions, which was like a flash in the pan, but remote desktop, and HTML5, WebRTC, those technologies, these are something to keep your eye on. So listen up, everybody. It's about to get serious. Get my hat right. Avaya announces, not a droid. Avaya announces web-based remote desktop client for Chrome. So I think that this is like I said, this is like the big game changers of things like Chrome and like these web-based platforms, right? These thin client type stuff. So that's why this is big, man. This article, of course, is from ChromeStore.com, just like OMG Chrome.com. ChromeStore.com is another one you're going to want to hit up every day. Definitely throw it in your RSS feed because you're going to get some great stuff from Dinsan over there at Chrome Story. But basically, he goes into this article about Avaya's new tool running directly in the browser and allows you to be able to use the WebRTC protocol that they built a client around. So that way, it's kind of like Join Me or WebEx or something like that, where you're just WebEx is a little different, but where you want to be able to share your screen with somebody. Well, this uses WebRTC to share the screen. So interesting times coming down the pike. James, what are your thoughts on more sharing using Chrome's internals?
Well, obviously that's a good thing. Having more options and more functionality. I'm a little confused about this particular dealio here. At first, it sounds like it's just a standard remote desktop type thing, but the article talks about phones or something and customer service. I don't know what kind of integration there is with, and I also don't know what did it say? Something about an Avaya phone. Is that a thing, or did I just? Yeah, for customer service agents working in a contact center with an Avaya phone. I'm not clear as to exactly what this is. Is this just another Chrome remote desktop type thing, or is it somehow different?
Well, from what I understand, so Avaya does make the phones, right? They're like Cisco. They're a competitor of Cisco. And they're rolling out their whole IPT thing too, where Cisco's had IPT for a while, but Avaya, I don't know if it's had IPT. I don't know. All I know is Cisco's a bigger name in my head. But I think that they are linking it with Avaya, right? Their phone line. But it looks like they're doing the whole thing where you're taking a call directly through the Chromebook is what they're doing. So they're using the WebRTC protocol for audio and for sharing your screen. So it looks like they have Chromebooks in their contact centers. So they had to. That's really cool. That's actually pretty cool. So basically, their help desk has Chromebooks. I use this word too much, but that's sexy.
They give an example. It says where customer service would be agent normally is using an Avaya phone, an agent could take their Chromebook home and make internet-enabled calls through the computer itself. So you're right. They would actually be making their calls with the Chromebook as opposed to using the actual Avaya phone. And they could switch to taking calls on their landline if their internet connection gets bogged down or something. And it's supposed to be really easy to switch between those two states. It's supposed to be pretty effortless. So it does sound like it's a little bit more than just another remote desktop. There's some kind of integration for companies that are already using Avaya phone systems. This is just a really good way to incorporate that and allow people to, like the example they give, work from home if the weather's bad and they can't make it to work or something. They can just work from home.
Craig, what are your thoughts on the WebRTC? Is the WebRTC going to do well, or do you think they're going to come up with a different protocol? Or do you think the other one's going to, the ORTC or whatever it was called?
Well, I wouldn't ask me that. I always thought Gopher would catch on, but here we are with HTTP. Oh yeah, nerd joke. Okay. I think this is good for the expansion of the ecosystem. Whether or not WebRTC sticks around or if it gets replaced, it's not really relevant because the average user doesn't understand it anyway. So as long as the experience is consistently improving, I'm on board.
Craig's on board. I'm on board. You know what I'm really on board with? Donuts. and that's apparent. And yeah, the Krispy Kreme. This is mind blowing, but Craig is always talking about the kiosk. Always talking about the kiosk. Aren't you, Craig?
I have no memory.
Craig doesn't remember, but he's basically every episode he talks about kiosks because.
Oh, that, yeah.
Because Craig's brain is like an out of the box thinker, right? Where I know I am very much like me. My world is my single Chromebook and my Chromebox, and my my little world. And Craig's like, think bigger, man. Right?
Well, not necessarily bigger. When it comes to the kiosk, it's more about where you can put that box.
It's all about that base.
Box.
So, yes, in this instance, Krispy Kreme is installing Chromebooks. Now, this is books, so this isn't really a kiosk. But they're installing Chromebooks. It's available in 17 stores across 16 countries. And it looks like it's one of the reasons is we're just dedicated to delighting our customers and giving them even more reasons to come by beyond our tasty treats. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind coming by to. What's good about it is the fact that it's a Chromebook. You know, it's not a Windows 8 experience at a Krispy Kreme. You're not getting your generic Metro.
Thank God.
What's that? Thank goodness.
So,
Craig, yeah. What are your thoughts?
they say that they're going to deploy this in 17 different stores across 16 countries. Isn't that one store a country?
No, there's 2 in one of them. There's 2.
Maybe, you're assuming. We don't know how
Come to a
math
continent
works.
near you.
No, if you have 17 and 16, then one of the places has to have 2.
Or 2 of them have half.
One has the screen, the other one has the keyboard. It's probably the crappy Acer keyboard with a bad Wi-Fi signal.
It's entirely possible.
Um,
These people are donut makers, John, not technology enthusiasts.
Well, and that's a valid point there. The other quote that Dinson has from Krispy Kreme, yes, this is a quote from Krispy Kreme. We decided to use Chromebooks because they're easy to set up, secure, and scalable.
That was my transition. Thank you.
Stole it. Sorry. Yes. So I think so. The other thing is that they have the whole thing about the countries because they wanted to do face-to-face conversations with other customers of Krispy Kreme. Except for maybe there's one in LA and one in New York. So that way, if you're in Hong Kong, you can talk to one side of America or the other. Maybe it's that.
Why not North Dakota and Texas?
Same time zone. Doesn't work for me.
It would work better. Because then the person in North Dakota and the person in Texas can talk to each other.
I don't get it. I don't. I'm saying no. No. You're saying they're in the same time zones and they can talk to each other. But then what about the people in the other countries anyway? What's the point then? You don't even speak the same language, let alone the same time zone.
Well, that's kind of the point. If they don't speak the same language, how would that conversation go?
You don't want them talking, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying from a communication standpoint, you're going to have an easier time understanding someone that lives just a few thousand miles north of you. Maybe only a few hundred. I don't have a great sense of distance.
Either do I. James, sense of distance?
What? Sorry, I was reading XKCD comics.
So my question is, do you think that the police in Argentina are going to have good conversations with the police in, like Poland when they both are at the Krispy Kreme?
Oh, you were going for the really easy cops eat donuts joke.
I was.
I'm with you.
That's right.
Is it really possible to have a good conversation with a Polak, though?
Craig?
What? I was reading SKCD cartoons.
Man. John, you're Polish, right?
Scottish, man.
Oh.
Scottish.
Oh.
I'm Scotch, which means I'm cheap.
I take my joke back. I thought I was making fun of John.
Craig, where's your motherland?
Mars.
He's Martian the Manhunter. All right. Martian the Man? No, Martian Manhunter, not Martian the Manhunter. Is it Martian the Manhunter or Martian Manhunter? I think it's Martian Manhunter. Because Martian would be his name if he was Martian the Manhunter, right?
We about done here? Mike's
I
gonna get
think
mad at us if we go too long.
who?
Mike,
Oh, listen. And
you would
but
know if you were ever in our hangout.
he sent me a question the other day, like a month ago, and I still have not had a chance to answer him.
What was the question?
I think it was. I think he wanted to know if there was an adapter because he got the headset I used for the show, and he wanted to know if there was an adapter from something I'd never heard of to USB, and I didn't. I literally was getting out of my car and I saw the post and I was like, "What?" And then I forgot about it. But Mike, I didn't really forget about you. It's in my noodle, but and I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm sure he got that resolved. But yes, indeed. Craig, throughout the week, you can be seen many, many places around the stratospheres of the interwebs. Where's the most important to you that you'd like to tell people to find you?
Parks.
Okay.
Parks. Starbuckses.
Okay.
There's a plurality to the places I go, is the point. Oh, I love that ringtone. How do we make your phone do that?
Uh,
How do we make your phone not do
tag,
that?
tag me in a post on Google Plus.
Consider
God.
it done.
That would be
Speaking of Google Plus, that's a good segue there, James. People can find me on Google Plus. Where can people find you, James? And don't say Google Plus. I already took that.
Ah, crap. Well, they could find me on Zynga or
Zanga.
Facebook.
Zanga.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, you can find me on this podcast, but I'm not sure I recommend it. Oh.
Okay.
Awkward.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you again for another wild episode of Practical Chrome. Again, I said in the beginning, let's make this short because we always go long, and yet again we've gone long, and I don't know how that happens, but I hope everyone did enjoy our antics. You can find me, John Oliphant, on Google Plus, although literally I haven't opened that app since Mike asked me that question. And other places, but also tnotm.com is my new pet project. As always, there's always a pet project when I have time to touch something. And,
When is this going to be your pet project, John?
Listen, tnotm.com is something where I can. It's a coding thing, and it calms me down. So that's what it does, and it literally takes me less than no time at all. But it's an indie web thing using Jekyll and trying to use my Chromebook to code on the web for a website, and so it's fun. So using Code Anywhere in their dev box and Git and merges and it's cool, man. Git is cool. So it's given me the opportunity to really get into Git because I don't use it at work. We use just like a standard versioning tool, so keeps my feet wet in the Git world. So I like it. Anyway, that's where you can find me. tnotm.com stands for the needs of the many, and that's where I'll be. And that's it, gentlemen. Thanks for another awesome episode of Practical Chrome. I hope you had a good time. I know I had a good time.
Yeah.
Good times? Meh? Craig, was it meh? Or was it like,
I keep showing up.
Come on, Craig, something. Was it too drawn out? What was it? Was it all right? Was it good? On the level of like 49-1 in the ranking of the episodes.
Oh, ranking against prior episodes? Well, I think
Or-
honestly, we kind of topped out early. The episodes where James and I weren't on were probably the best episodes for James and I.
Oh, but listen, that's not right. I wouldn't mind going and reading that, listening to that catalog again. All the old episodes, they were.
Oh, you're that guy, huh?
Yeah, I am.
You can go back and
Can we
listen to
start
yourself.
showing reruns?
All right.
Are we syndicated yet?
We'll
No.
still do the show live, but it's just gonna be a live recording of previous episodes.
If we do get syndicated, we're gonna get syndicated on like FX2.
Oh man.
And not only is it a Fox network, but it's a subsidiary of a Fox network.
We're already canceled, probably.
Yeah.
Time to start the internet
or
petition.
Or it's possible we could get syndicated straight to NBC because they just canceled a Tina Fey TV show before it aired and punted it straight to Netflix.
Really?
Really.
Wow.
So yeah, it's entirely possible NBC will pick us up. They
Well,
have
no,
made worse decisions.
Well, listen, for Fox, they could probably pay us like, $20 an episode, and we'd all sign, right?
No. I hold out for 25.
25, because Utopia cost them $50 million, and they only aired 3 months worth of it.
Well, no, because I'm worth it, John. I'm worth 25.
Are you worth 25?
Yeah, it's a Dove commercial thing, I think.
Is it
Because
a
you're
Dove-
worth it.
Because you're worth it, right? Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. One of those three. One of those. I don't know.
Something.
All right, let's. We actually have a viewer right now, and they're probably like, "Wow, I've got to rewind this because I just came in late, and it's all going to be funny." Not really. All right, guys. You guys have a good rest of the evening. We'll see you next. No, not next week. Everybody, we're off next week. We're off. Some weeks we've been off just because we couldn't make it, but we're actually off next week. And that was always me, by the way. James and
We're
Craig Rose.
planning. We're planning to be absent next week, which is new for us.
That's exactly right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You guys have a good night. Everyone, thanks again for watching Practical Chrome 49. We'll see you in 2 weeks.